For a while now, we've thought of AI as this amazing conversational partner, right? You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. But what if that was just the warm up act? Well, a huge shift is happening as we speak, taking AI from simply answering us to actively doing things for us. This is all about how AI is growing up from a know it all to a do it all.
I mean, we've all done this. You're looking at a blank page, so you get the AI to help you write an email. Or maybe you've got this super dense report and you ask it to just, pull out the important stuff. It's become our go-to for all kinds of knowledge work.
And let's be real, they're incredible at it. The way they can just absorb massive amounts of info and chat with us like a person, it's been a game changer for so many of us, for sure.
But here's where we tend to hit a wall. Getting the answer is one thing, but then you have to actually do something with it. The answer is really just the starting line. And that what happens next question, that's what's pushing this whole evolution from chatbots to these really powerful AI agents.
Okay, so let's dig into that for a second. Let's talk about the limits on just chatting with an AI. Because as useful as it is, there's a ceiling to what a simple conversation can really accomplish. This quote just nails it. Think about it. An AI tells a sales rep which lead is the hottest one to call. That's great. But the rep still has to manually go into the CRM, find the record, update it, draft the email, send it. All of that stuff after getting the answer is the real-time suck. And that really gets us to the key difference here. An AI chat is a fantastic knowledge tool. It's perfect for asking questions and getting a first draft of something. But an AI agent, that's built to be an action tool. Its whole purpose isn't just to tell you something, it's to actually achieve a goal by running through a bunch of steps and using other software to get the job done. So let's officially meet the AI agent. And I want to be really clear here. This is not just a chatbot with a fancy new name. We're talking about a completely different architecture, a new way of building AI from the ground up. So in the beginning, we had phase one. You can think of this like a one-way street. You send a prompt into the language model, and it sends a response back out. The end. It has no memory of what you just said, and it definitely can't do anything outside of that little text box. But now, this is where it gets really interesting. Phase two. The architecture goes from a straight line to a continuous loop. It's called the REACT model, which stands for reason and act. So the AI can think about a problem, then use a tool to take an action, see what the result was, and then think again based on what happened. It's this cycle that lets it tackle really complicated multi-step jobs. You see, this is a huge shift in mindset. An AI agent is built to deliver an outcome, like, booking a whole trip with flights, rental cars, and hotels, not just to give you one perfect answer. Success isn't about one good reply. It's about getting the entire task done. But an agent can't just act out of thin air. It needs to know how to do things. It needs expertise. And that's where this really powerful concept of agent skills comes into play. The best way to think of a skill is like a specialized app on your phone, but for an AI. Each skill is a little package of instructions and resources for a very specific task. So instead of having a generalist AI that's kind of okay at everything, you can give it a skill and turn it into an expert at, say, analyzing complex spreadsheets or writing in your company's unique style. I love this analogy. Giving an AI a skill is just like handing a new hire a detailed onboarding manual. It's not a one-off command you have to keep repeating. Nope, it's a permanent capability the agent can now draw on whenever it needs to, just like a seasoned member of your team. And what's really clever is how this all works behind the scenes. The AI doesn't have to keep every single detail of every skill in its head at all times. That would be way too slow. It just starts with a quick summary. And only when it says, hey, I need that skill, does it load up the full instructions. Super fast and efficient. And the benefits here are just massive. You can build specialized AI assistants that know your business inside and out. You stop having to repeat the same complex instructions over and over. And this is the really cool part. You can start combining different skills to let the AI handle incredibly sophisticated workflows. All right, so how does this actually stack up in the real world? Let's check out an example from something called the Gaia benchmark. It's basically a series of tests designed to give AI problems that are a piece of cake for us, but surprisingly difficult for a machine. Okay, so take a look at this question about a pint of ice cream. For you or me, this is pretty straightforward. You'd glance at the label, do a quick web search for the standard, and then do some simple math. But for an AI, that's not one task. That's a whole chain of different actions.
See, an agent can't just figure out the answer. It needs a whole toolkit of different skills. It needs computer vision to actually read the text on the image. It needs a web browsing skill to look up the federal regulations. It needs a code interpreter to run the numbers. And crucially, it needs the reasoning skill to tie all of those steps together in the right order.
So as you'd expect, we humans are pretty good at this. Our success rate on these kinds of questions is a solid 92%. No big deal. But look at this. Even a state-of-the-art model like GPT-4, with all its available tools, only gets this right 15% of the time. That massive gap tells you everything. Just having access to tools isn't enough. The real secret sauce is having that skill-based framework to use them together in a smart way. And that performance gap? That is exactly why AI agents are the future. We're moving way beyond just automating a single task here and there. We're on the verge of completely reimagining how work gets done, period. The big vision here isn't just about having one super smart AI. It's about building entire teams of AIs. We can set them up like a real company, with a manager agent, the orchestrator, that delegates specific tasks to specialized worker agents. This lets them handle incredibly complex business processes from start to finish. And naturally, this changes our jobs too. But it's not about replacement, it's about evolution. We become the conductors of these AI orchestras, the managers of agent teams, or we become the deep experts who step in when the AI runs into a weird edge case. It frees us from the boring system wrangling and lets us focus on strategy, creativity, and, the human stuff. So this is really the big takeaway. The era of AI just giving us answers is coming to a close. The new frontier is all about AI taking action. The goal isn't just information anymore, it's completion. And that leaves all of us with a really important question. Are we just going to treat this as a new piece of tech, or are we ready to fundamentally rethink how we operate to get ready for this future?